A shining star of the World Top Conducting League, chief conductor of Staatskapelle Dresden and also designated musical director of Maggie Musicale, Daniele Gatti. Welcome.
Welcome to you, Jan.
I have to confess that I know you from conducting podium for quite a long time. What are your aha moments in conductor's life when things start to progress? You know, you get some impulse from the orchestra which makes you realize I should do this differently. Can you remember some of those really strong moments?
The way I conducted 30 years ago is changed because I become more mature as a man, first of all, as well as a musician. The experience that when we call, and you know better than me that we can call fly hours, no, in making experience. Yeah. But I'm not satisfied. And I try again during the rehearsal, also now after 45 years, to improve myself. 2 days ago, when I was here to rehearse with the orchestra, I was studying myself. It's something mental. I mean, when I'm in the rehearsal and I conducting, of course I try to show things that outline what is my desire. Then I'm very careful if my arm is translated perfectly that. So for this reason, to my opinion, there is no limits to improve ourselves. I listen the sound. I'm completely crazy about the sound that we can create together with the musician of the orchestra, not because the sound must be beautiful. The sound is the voice of an orchestra. And the gesture and the sound that you can obtain, for me, are strictly connected. And when you have in front of you great orchestras that already has an heritage about performances and about a piece, that is the moment perhaps to try to see if in the piece of music that everybody knows, that everybody grew up with the blood, there is today still something to discover, and I'm sure there is. And if I conduct a Beethoven pastoral, I put myself in the condition like a Beethoven rang to my door to say, I written for the audience this, can you play for the first time? And I try to return to the origin. Sometimes we are resting a bit on the tradition because it's comfort zone. I'm not interested. There are great conductors that are doing much better than me. Absolutely. So I'm looking for, seeking for, figure out something and to say, look, this is not just the Beethoven that you know, that probably there is also this aspect. Someone could say you are presumptuous, you are arrogant. I'm not. I'm much more honest. And also probably the hardest way also to impact an orchestra. But I feel this as a mission.
You know, the business of music agencies, of the whole commercial world, which is now penetrated classical music, has very much changed how things work. If I would compare when you were about to be chosen the chief conductor of Concertgebouw Orchestra, the director said that we absolutely want somebody with rich experience who really knows what he's doing. We don't want the golden star of 26 years old. You know what happened 6 years after it? They appointed the chief conductor who was exactly 26 years old.
Yeah, and not just with one orchestra.
Definitely.
No, the world is changed.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit sad about this because I consider myself and probably my colleagues of my generation much more fortunate. We had time to make mistake. My first really important orchestra was Santa Cecilia Orchestra in Rome.
That's like
I was
great.
30.
That's great.
I was 30 years old. And before that, I had a small orchestra in Milano, the Pomeriggi Musicali, which was a chamber orchestra. And the jump to pass from the Pomeriggi Musicale to the Santa Cecilia was for me like to cross the Red Sea. And the position was offered not through the management, but when I did a concert, the board of the orchestra came to me and invited me to the dinner, asking to become their music director. So the next day, before to leave, I had an appointment with the artistic director and the intendant. I said, I know that the orchestra is, I agree with you. And I was frightened. That was after one concert. Thanks God, at that time I had a second program, 4 months later, and they said, I would like to decide after that because it could be Coupe de Foudre. And I waited the second program, the feeling was the same, even better, so I said yes. But before to say yes, I went to Maestro Giulini's house in Milan and I said, Maestro, I need your hints, I need your support. And he said, go. And I said, Maestro, but I'm 30. And today, if you say you are 30, you are already an old conductor.
Definitely.
Just to say that, because I was put in a situation to have responsibilities, but protected.
Yeah.
And I never had in my life 2 orchestras, just one.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And today, you have people of 21, 22 years old that are already managing 2 orchestras. You can also compare that, and I have nothing to say. You can have the orchestra, but take one orchestra, stay 10 years with that. Because my question is, if guys of 26 years old has today 2 greatest orchestras in the world, at 40, where do you go? You say Berlin, Staatskapelle, but we are talking about the same level.
Exactly.
There is not, I mean, there are orchestra that help you when you are young, and then you must see the Spitze of the top.
Right.
And another metaphor that I like to use and is if you want to climb a mountain, to arrive to the top of 4,000 meters, you go slow, and then you stop at 1,500, and then you sleep there, and then you do another 1,000. You sleep 2-3 times, and then you acclimatation of the body to the air. Once you arrive at 4,000, your body is perfect. If you take the helicopter and you go, of course you arrive in 1 hour, in 45 minutes, rather than in 3 days.
But you start suffocating, right?
But then, perhaps to turn the head and you fall down.
Yeah. I would say also that for you as a conductor, it's like you would be learning how to drive and you would be given the best Lamborghini or Bugatti. You can get very quickly a false impression that you can do literally everything, because even Viennese Philharmonic with the brass band Kapellmeister will still sound like Viennese Philharmonic.
But it's like Hansel and Gretel. In your life, are you able to leave some little stones behind you? And people that could remember you.
Right.
So it's not through this. It's through your life in music, what you are saying, what you are offering in terms of interpretation. 20 or more years ago, 30 years ago, a lot of people came to me. I'm a pianist, can I play for you? I'm a composer, can you see my... I'm a oboe player. Today, everybody wants to conduct. There is this explosion, no? Since 15 years.
Because it's shine and glamorous.
Probably,
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably. Fine, okay. But to be honest, I'm still seeking someone who is crazy for this kind of profession.
You became a Mahler specialist, and in Prague, at the festival Dvořákově Praha, you will be performing his 5th symphony.
Sí.
I would say that under every single emotion that he gives, there's a certain thin layer of melancholy and sadness.
See, don't you think that Mahler is the most persönlich composer?
Definitely.
That everybody has it. It doesn't exist in Mahler style because differently from the great tradition that starts from the first Vienna school and ended with Epigonos, that could be Brahms.
Right.
When we are talking about those composers on this kind of line, we pay tribute of respect to more or less stay in the frame. But when we talk about Mahler, You can have a fantastic Mahler with a Canadian orchestra, with an Australian orchestra, with the Vienna Philharmonic, with the Dresden Staatskapelle, with Berlin, with Santa Cecilia, with Madrid. Because I think the music is very focused on the soul of the man. So he's a translation of emotion. And quite easy in a way to go inside a score and to say, I feel like this, because the enormous amount of indication that he gives to us are dwindled from metronome numbers.
Definitely.
And you have the indication written in German and explained.
Yeah.
So it seems easy, but in a way it's a very difficult thing, because stürmisch bewegt, aber mit, for you it means something, for me it means other things.
Absolutely.
Leidenschaftlich.
Yeah.
Is for you fast or more slow? Sometimes for me it's more slow than fast, because for me this word Leidenschaft means utmost pain. Pain and passion, no? So when I arrive conducting the Ninth Symphony, the first movement, in middle parts, the string, dramatic, tragic passage, he marks Leidenschaftlich. You can do in one tempo. I do with 20 numbers, metronomes lower. And I think both versions are working.
Right.
But it creates a sort of personal reading of the composer. We have the extreme with Leonard Bernstein, which I adore. We have another kind of line of Mahler, much more ethical, things like this, which could be interesting, à la Boulez, no? But everybody could say his own personal word on Mahler, because the score is permitted to do this.
Right.
One more thing, very interesting, also for talking as a young musician. Mahler was using to mark bowing changing, and I discovered the metronome through the bowing changing. Because sometimes working with the orchestra, I see the concertmeister had already changed some bowing. That is not possible to do. Yeah, not possible to do at this tempo. This is something that you can figure out and to say, but too much reprise or 2 times up bow, but this is impossible. But we have in our blood, and then we return at the beginning, the music that is played in this international context, cosmopolitan tempo.
Right.
We change the bowing, we play much more comfortable. But if I return to reconsider the bowing of Mahler, I note that the tempo is too fast.
Right.
And if I adapt the tempo to this indication, all the movement has another aspect.
What's the way how you protect yourself from these automatisms streaming in, from the tradition, from things that you have heard somewhere? How do you clean up yourself from it?
As usual, as I said to you, stay with my score.
Yeah.
I like listen other interpretation far at the moment that I'm studying. Because there is no the last time that I'm conducting this piece. There will be time again. So I want to propose what in this moment of my life is sounding for me, this Mahler 5. And when I listened my previous recording, Mahler 5, I said, oh, it's too fast. No, I'm not conducting anymore like that. But that was a moment in which crystallized a moment of my life. And now at 63, I would like to offer to the audience this vision of Mahler. Perhaps in 10 years' time it will be different. But it's changed because I change in the company of my score.
Thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you,
Maestro.
Ian. Grazie. With pleasure.